What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Hope everyone is having a good holiday season. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes and the get well soon wishes. Been a little bit sick lately. Haven't been able to do as much content as I would like, but today I'm feeling much better and I want to go ahead and pop out a video for you guys, give you guys some content for this weekend, and then also we'll do our Sunday technical analysis. In today's video, we're going to review a few trades that I took last week, sort of do a journal type video, reviewing what I took, what trades I took, how it worked out, winner or loser. I think this is a really cool video to review some of my trades, maybe something I should incorporate here on the channel moving forward. We're going to look at 3 specific trades, 2 of them losers and 1 of them winners. Now, with all 3 of these trades, I was on the right side of the trade, but it was just about timing and my entry that caused 2 of them to become losers. And I think this is something that is very important to look at and to review, because sometimes you could be extremely right, but your entry is just a little bit off and it causes you to stop out. So I think in today's video, we're going to have a good example of that, and I think it will be educational for you guys out there. After watching today's video, if you enjoy it, press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to come hang out in the pre-market live streams every single weekday, Monday through Friday, make sure to press the bell down below so you are alerted every single time that I go live. All right, guys, so before we jump into this one, quickly want to let you know the giveaway is ending tomorrow, completely free to join. Link is down in the description below, and I'll pop up the details of it on your screen. Second thing, some Discord promos are going on right now for the holiday season. That is also in the description below. Make sure to check that out. That is ending here shortly as well. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into this. The first chart that we are looking at here is Nvidia. Nvidia is on your screen. This is the 1-minute chart, and this is back from the 20th of December. So the trade that I took here on the 20th of December on Nvidia, as you guys know, all the trades that I take are here in the Discord chat. So this was the first trade. I went ahead and got into an Nvidia 1223 265 put for $3.85, and I had my stop above a 279 level. My stop was there for a reason, and we'll go ahead and talk through why my stop was there and what I was looking for on this trade. I was looking for the previous day close and the previous day resistance to turn into resistance once again and start to see the NASDAQ start to slip and see if I can catch Nvidia back to the downside. Now, what we'll see in this trade, so I ended up getting stopped out for this trade for about a $70 loss. Now, what we'll see here in this trade is it was right here. So I got into it at around 10:03 a.m. Now, 10:03 a.m. was right here on this rejection candle that you guys saw on Nvidia. It was right there. Now, why did I get in for that rejection candle? What you guys will see on your screen, we have the yellow line, which is yesterday's closing price. It's the day prior's closing price. So if I zoom out, what you guys are going to be looking at is where we got the rejection back on here. This is Monday. Let me go back. Here it is. So this is the day we're going to be looking at. This is the day I took the trade. This was Monday. And this was Friday. So Friday's closing price was this yellow line here. And what I was looking for Nvidia to do that day was I was looking for it to actually push up, fill that little gap that it had in the pre-market. You saw we had that gap down on the pre-market. I was looking for that gap to fill, start to find resistance at the previous day's closing price, and wanting to make sure that it did not break above that level. I wanted to see if I could catch that rejection, and I had my stop here at 279, which was pretty close to the opening of Friday, and it was also where we topped out on the candle before I got in. So I had that 279 as a stop, and I was looking for that rejection at 278. Now, what we'll see, what happened when I got into this trade, we can see we rejected premature, we rejected when I got into it right there, rejected there, started to move back higher, and when I started to see us break back higher above my 279, I did go ahead and get stopped out of this trade. Now, what I did wrong here and what I could have done a little bit better was maybe wait for it to break down just a little bit more. Maybe wait for it to make a lower low here, right around this 275. I got in looking for that rejection. I got in maybe a little bit too early here. I could have waited for the lower low to be formed and for these previous lows right here to actually break down. So I may have got into this just a little bit early. What you guys can see is we did get one push back higher, and we did push into and ended up rejecting these previous support levels back on Friday. So if we look at this 280 level from back on Friday, we ended up rejecting up here at 280, which is where Nvidia found support back on Friday. So that support on Friday actually turned into some resistance here on Monday. And you can see I just did not give myself enough space on this particular trade to make this work out. You can see I did end up getting stopped out on this push higher, and that is where I had to get out of this trade, right? Because I am not someone that's going to go ahead and hope and pray for this thing to come back down. I have to have my stops in place, and a $70 loser is something I can manage. Maybe Nvidia continued higher all day, and that could have been a very ugly, ugly loss. Now, what you'll see later in the day, my idea was actually pretty right. We did have that rejection of that 280. We ended up breaking back below Friday's close, and after we did break below that, that is where this trade started to work out. And the key for this trade was actually when it started to make that lower low. That is right here around this 275. You guys can see it actually ended up breaking that 275 right around 11 o'clock, and then it went ahead and started to sell off. So in this trade, I think I was just a little bit too early. I had the right idea of looking for that rejection of Friday's levels because the market was weak, the NASDAQ was weak, and I wanted to see if this push higher was just another day of rejection, another day where we push higher into resistance and then go ahead and pull back later in the day. So key of this trade, the takeaway for me was that I was looking at the right levels and I was looking at the right resistance points, but I was a little bit too early. I didn't let Nvidia actually start to break down. I sort of jumped in this too early. It was still on a nice uptrend, and I did not wait for that lower low to form. Right here around 11 o'clock is when that lower low formed. You can see here is a previous low. We started to push higher. Never made a lower low until right here around 11 o'clock. So if I could take this one back, what I would look for would be the pullback, the lower low pullback on Nvidia, which came in right around this 11 o'clock. And what you'll see later in the day, we actually rejected that level once again. So this turned into some pretty clear resistance. If I would have been a little bit more patient here, this could have actually been a nice little downside play. But of course, you know, that's what happens in trading. Sometimes you're just a little bit off on your entry. So that's the first trade. As you guys see, took my loss, $70 loss right here. Nvidia broke through that Friday closing level. And that is something that I had to walk away and learn from and see, of course, how I can improve on that type of trade. So that was the trade on Nvidia. Took a loser there. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. All right, guys. So the second trade here is Visa. This was a break-even trade. Would have ended up being a very nice setup. Just a little bit impatient on this one. Could have definitely worked out if I was just a little bit more patient on this particular trade. So here is a 1223, 215 call on Visa with a stop below 215. I got in at 190 and I got in on a little bit of a pullback. So right here on this pullback, this is on Wednesday the 22nd. I got in on this 9 EMA pullback right here. Now my plan on this trade was to see if Visa could hold above this consolidation that it was forming. You guys can see here in the morning, it was forming this consolidation around 215. I came into today, or that day, looking for a continuation to the upside. The first reason was because Visa and MasterCard have been extremely strong, and I saw that it was starting to hold up intraday, and we were also getting some strength here on the Dow this day. So Visa sometimes will move with the Dow Jones. We were getting that strength on the Dow Jones. I was looking to see if I could continue that strength there on Visa from the day prior. So we had a nice hold in the morning. We were holding above the previous day close, and we were just looking for this previous day high to go ahead and break out. That's right here around this 216 level. Now, what you guys are going to see is we actually sort of consolidated here, made higher lows, but we triple topped at this 216. Now, when I saw that triple top on 216, I actually just went ahead and got out break even. It was right here. This is what the chart looked like. I started to see that triple top come in, and I just said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take my break even here. I don't know if I like that triple top. I wanted it to move a little bit quicker. I was a little bit impatient on this one. And what you guys will see is we ended up holding up actually extremely nice, making higher lows, and eventually we got that breakout of the previous day level. So at this time, I was out of the trade break even, but you can see we were right on our idea. We were right to see if Visa could continue that strength that it has had. And as long as it breaks that previous day high, I think that was what lets it go and lets it start to move higher. What you'll see is eventually we did get that break and that retest, and we would have had a very nice entry here on that retest on Visa. So to take this trade, to sort of take my takeaway on this trade was that My entry maybe was a little bit early. Like, once again, timing was a little bit off. Didn't quite get the right entry on this play. Could have possibly waited for that breakout to actually occur and actually look for that retest. The perfect entry on this trade was actually right here on this retest of this previous day high. So previous day high, 216.12. We got the break right here, right around 10:15. The pullback, and that right there, when Visa went ahead and showed that it was turning that previous day high resistance into support, that was the entry that I should have taken. But we can see I got in a little too early, stopped out break even, did not like the triple top that formed. Could have been a little bit more patient. Once again, the problem I've had over the last 2 weeks, as you guys know if you're in the chat, just been a little bit impatient. I've been wanting to see these moves happen. The market's been very choppy, and I don't want to get stuck in any big losers. My goal right now is to make sure my risk is very small. I don't want to expose myself to any big volatility swings. So when I started to see that thing fail, I got out break even. Of course, that allows me to go ahead and trade another day, allows me to keep my capital. But of course, looking back at this, a little bit of patience, looking for that actual breakout and the retest, that was the right entry. And you can see since that day, or after that breakout, Visa had a very nice move to the upside. Would have been a very nice trade to the upside. I know some of you guys caught this one, did not get out when I did, so congratulations to anyone out there that took this Visa trade. Either way, a good setup, the right idea. Again, just the timing was a little off, was a little bit impatient on this one. Let's go ahead and jump into the third one. And this was actually a trade that I really, really like. And this was AMD. It was a winner. Could have been a bigger winner. But I like what I did. I think I did the right thing of taking profits. Of course, we always can look back at a trade and see that it could have been more. But that's just trading, guys. You can never go back in hindsight and sort of beat yourself up. So here it is, guys. Here's AMD, and here is the trade that I took. So yesterday, this is when I took it. I took an AMD 1223 145 call with a stop below low a day, which was also lining up to the previous day's close. So that was big. You guys can see I took this off for about a 30% winner. So a nice trade there on AMD. What we can see on AMD here is that this yellow line, this is the previous day's close. And what we did in the morning on AMD was we had a beautiful double bottom at previous day's close. So when I saw that previous day's close hold, I really like this setup. I like the potential for AMD to potentially hold that previous day's closing price and to start to move off of it. NASDAQ was pretty strong, was sort of holding up this AMD move, and the chip stocks were also moving higher that morning. We had Nvidia moving higher that morning, and AMD was starting getting some of that love as well. So I was in this trade, got this push higher, ended up taking profits around 10:03, which is right here when we got this push higher on AMD. Now, there's a few reasons I did go ahead and get out of this trade. The first reason was because it was a 0 DTE trade, and the contracts, it was like biting, it was like tooth and nail to get any type of upside move on these contracts. As you guys know, with 0 DTE, time decay is very high, and even though AMD did push higher on this move, the contracts really did not increase as much as I would like. Got about 30% out of it, and I wanted to go ahead and take my profits there as this move was just a little bit slower than I was expecting. So I did take my profits as we started to reject this 146 level. This was a resistance level that was on my eye that I was watching. So I wanted to go ahead and take my profits there. Looking back, this is a trade that I'm not going to look back and say that I wish I could have held a little bit longer, because in my mind at that time, this was a goal just to go ahead and scalp off this previous day's closing price. So I think, in my opinion, this is a good trade, in my opinion, for me looking back at it. Of course, could have been a little bit patient. Obviously, AMD did have a nice run after my exit, but I was very happy with how I went ahead and took profits here after it held that previous day closing price, that double bottom. Had my stop below that level, I think presenting a really good risk to reward, because in my opinion, all I was looking for was a hold there. If it didn't hold, let's say it goes ahead and drops below that yellow mark, let's say it drops down to like 143, I get out for a small loss, good risk to reward off that little double bottom. So nice trade, happy with that one. That was my third trade of the day, and those are all the trades that I took last week. As you guys can see, trading has been a little bit light for me lately as I've been focusing on risk management in this choppy market, focusing on keeping my gunpowder dry and not going ahead and giving back my gains that I've had this year. So those are my 3 trades. Hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of insight in my mindset of these trades. Hopefully it helps you a little bit in reviewing some of these setups. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you did enjoy it. All right, guys, so that's what I have for you in this video, just reviewing a few trades from last week. Market's been extremely volatile. You have a lot of intraday swings, a lot of intraday breakdowns, and I've been very careful in this environment, making sure I'm not trusting a position for too long, making a winner turn into a loser, or making a loser turn into an even larger loser. Cutting things when something's not looking right and taking that profit when you have it is something that I've been very focused on in this volatile market. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.